Hey Yang Gang, I am Bad Guru, aka Peter Hartman, aka Yangalicious, aka super happy to be with you here tonight on this beautiful night. Oh my goodness, I watched the debates like at least 3 times. It's so fantastic. Andrew Yang, bam, bam, bam. In case you didn't know by now, bam, bam. He did it, man. He pulled it off. That guy was his best debate performance ever. So we're going to dive into all that has to do with the fourth Democratic debate, the fourth Dem debate that took place. If you didn't watch the debates, this is the video to watch. We're going to go through all the highlights, all the Andrew Yang highlights, and we're also going to go through all the highlights that happened in the whole debate. I watched it and I went through everything with a fine-tooth comb. We're going to watch that here and have some fun. So get some snacks, get some drinks, and let's celebrate the fourth Dem debate. Roll intro. Super. Oh my God, this is gonna be great. Look, I'm gonna give you a quick recap, as our friend Tom would say, from Hello Nerds, the TLDR. And if you don't want to watch the whole thing, don't worry about it. Here's the TLDR. All right. So did the media have their favorites, right? Did the moderators, did the networks have their favorites? Yes, of course. We knew that going in. All right, no surprise there. Yang, did he get the most speaking time? No. Did he get the least speaking time? No, he didn't. He was like third from the bottom last I saw. So not horrible. You know, he didn't get great. Elizabeth Warren gets 22 minutes and 58 seconds? 22 minutes, 58 seconds, is light years. That lady just had all the time in the... Oh, the media favorites? Do they really have favorites? How can you tell if the media has favorites? Did you see Elizabeth Warren's speaking time? Do you need any more reason to see finger meets scale? Whoa, look at that. Let it go. Serenity now, Peter. Serenity now. Bad guru. All right, so he didn't get the least speaking time, so that's a good sign. He did talk, and I was actually proud about how he talked. He butts in! Andrew Yang, he butts in! More than once! Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Andrew Yang, he listens to us, he listens to what we say, and then he puts it in, and then it gets better, and then it gets better. Oh my God. All right. Here's the TLDR. Biden. Let's start with Biden. I love how Biden just doesn't seem to care a lick about how much speaking time he gets. All right, this guy, he don't care. He's not trying to press himself in. He makes some quick remarks here and there, but he's not trying to butt in. He's not trying to say more. This guy doesn't want the time that he has. Is this guy complaining about not getting opening statements? No. Right? Is this guy worried about getting the least amount of time? No. I think he'd be happy if he had the least amount of time. He'd be like, oh, shucks, golly, I guess just didn't get a chance to speak. See you at the nomination. You're like, what, dude? So Biden, I saw him one time. He was like, excuse me, can I speak? Can I speak? He had his hand up with like a sly smile. We're going to see that. Anyway. So Biden, unimpressive. Same old Biden. Messing up when he speaks. I mess up when I speak, you know. But I'm a dummy comedian on the internet, all right? I probably have brain damage, okay? And Biden, he's just like, you want to be the president, man. Get through a sentence without messing up, all right? Get through one sentence without saying, not just like, he'll like refer to something. He'll say, instead of referring to like a gun bill, he'll refer to ending Roe versus Wade. Like actually those words will come out. And be like, oh no, what I really meant was this. Kind of a stumble is that? What's going on in your head, buddy? Anywho, Joe Biden, same old Joe Biden. He got asked that question about his son, so we're gonna watch that later in this video. Anyway, so there's Biden, same old, nothing special, nothing surprising. Didn't knock it out of the park. Didn't stand out in any way. He did cause some trouble, though. He caused some trouble challenging Warren and Bernie. He was not afraid to cause trouble. Clearly, you can see this guy, he's used to this, and he's not afraid of going after people, even if he might mess up. That's the one thing about Biden. Like, he looks pretty confident and willing to go forward, even though everybody knows you're probably going to mess up what you're saying. This guy, undaunted. He's like Trump in that way. I always thought he was like Trump in that way. It's kind of, I actually think it's kind of endearing. Warren. So you heard me ranting about Warren getting 22 minutes and 58 seconds. What the hell is that? What in the world is that? Look, just to give you some perspective, let me give you some perspective. I wasn't planning on doing this, but let me pull up the debate speaking times, and let me tell you how much the other people got. Because once you see this, you'll understand the context of this 22 minutes and 58 seconds. All right, so we're at the Washington Post, all right? And their times are a little different, so I guess everybody has slightly different times. But Elizabeth Warren here gets 23 minutes, 10 seconds. The next one below her, Biden, gets 16 minutes and 6 seconds. 16 minutes, 16.6 minutes, man. 23.1 for Elizabeth Warren, 16.6. And then Klobuchar gets the third amount at 13.2. Then a bunch get 13. Warren, O'Rourke gets, look. All right, so we're over at the Washington Post. All right, let's check out the Washington Post. They got their own numbers here. It's 23.1 minutes for Elizabeth Warren. Biden gets 16.6. He's the second longest speaking time. She's at 23.1. Biden's at 16.6. Klobuchar coming in third, kind of tying with O'Rourke and Sanders at 13 minutes. We got Buttigieg just below 12.9, so he's right there. Harris not far away with Booker, 12.2 to 11.7 respectively. Andrew Yang, 8.6, drops right down, 8.6. Tied with Castro and Gabbard at around 8.5, 8.6, 8.4, 8.4 respectively. And Steyer gets 7.2 minutes. Steyer gets more time than Andrew Yang got in his first debate. 23.1 minutes. Anyway, I don't want to rant about this. The media had their favorites. It was Elizabeth Warren. They were on her side, absolutely. It was very obvious. The question about Hunter Biden came right out of the gate. So they were not looking. They wanted people to hear that within the first, 30 minutes of the debate. So clearly they're on the side of Warren. Now I don't know. I'm being hopefully pessimistic. I'm suspicious of the media, paranoid of the media. But they didn't wait to ask that question, and Elizabeth Warren got a lot of speaking time. So that tells you something. That tells you something. Oh my God. Anyway, Andrew Yang gets 8.6. Warren, how does she do? She did a solid job, and she pissed me off. And it's because of just, anyway, we're going to get to it, but she was upsetting, the same old garbage that she's been saying. And then she mentioned some other things. She has this way of answering a question and leaving out whole chunks of important bits and making what she's saying the most important thing. So Elizabeth Warren. All right, same old Warren. Bernie Sanders. Let me tell you this, okay? The fact that Bernie Sanders just had a heart attack and surgery, stents put in, makes what he did at that debate even more spectacular. The guy was fighting strong. The guy was raring to go. The guy was going out. The guy was total Bernie Sanders. Didn't miss a beat. It seemed stronger. Look, I heard them say, I don't know if it was on the Hill, and they were talking about how him getting his heart fixed is just going to allow more blood to flow and make him stronger. And I was like, oh, that's kind of a gag, but maybe it's true. This guy looked in top form. I would never have guessed. The guy had a health issue. Anywho, Bernie Sanders doing a phenomenal job. He's a total badass, and we're going to get into that. So Bernie Sanders, look, if you like Bernie Sanders, he did you good last night. He did you nice and good. I didn't mean it that way. Anyway, it sounded dirty, but I didn't mean it dirty. Bernie Sanders, excellent. Oh, man. If Andrew Yang wasn't in this race, I would be having so much fun watching Bernie Sanders. Oh, my God, being a Bernie bro, just seeing your champion on stage, just slaying dragons. Whoo-wee, on point. God dang, Bernie Sanders is impressive. My God. Last night I was like, at the debate, I was like, what is happening here? Do I agree with what he says? No. But that's only because I've heard Yang. Otherwise, I'd probably be on the side. Good job, Bernie Sanders. Klobuchar. Klobuchar is a brawler, okay? I've always known, you could see right away she's a brawler, totally comfortable on stage. She's just waiting like a panther, waiting to wreck somebody, all right? and she's pretty strong. Sometimes she lands it well, sometimes not so good, but she's always ready to be on attack. She's aggressive. She's really good. I just love her hand gestures. They're very strong. She points things out, and we can go across the board and here in America and get things done. She's very sort of provocative with the way she speaks, and you can with the way she moves, gesticulates, and you can see that in her personality. Klobuchar is a brawler. She's a beast. Thank God she's not top tier, folks. Let me say that. Thank God that Klobuchar isn't top tier, because she is strong. She is absolutely strong. She knows how to perform. So she performed very well last night, got in there. No wonder she had the third most speaking time, honestly. Kamala was Kamala. You know Kamala. Eloquent, speaks so well. She performs beautifully. She's strong when she speaks. She doesn't fumble very much. She goes for it. But she's a phony. She's a total phony. You can tell she's a phony. The way everything she says, it's like, oh my God, there's not a moment that she's speaking where she doesn't seem self-righteous. There's not one second when, you know, when Americans are sitting at home wondering what's going on, I'm asking myself, it's like, what, lady? You can't be like just intense and genuine, sincere every single moment, and for that not to come off as phony. It's always self-righteous. My God, I can't stand listening to Kamala. She's aggravating. You're like, she's a liar. It's so obvious she's a liar. Hillary Clinton was better. Anyway, I don't want to make any enemies here. But it's really good that she doesn't know how to fake sincerity, because if she could, there'd be no stopping her. There'd be no stopping her. She's so well put together and organized. She speaks, you could just tell she's a liar. She looks like one to me. Didn't sound sincere to me, but that's just me. That's just me, folks. Kamala was Kamala. Julian Castro, he says nothing new, nothing interesting. This guy has a way of starting with somebody else's great idea and then making it bleh. I would be willing to pilot something like UBI, but what we really need is blah, 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 blah. What did he say? He sounds like he's running for president 10 years ago, 15 years ago. It's these bread and butter issues that Americans really need to care about. I care about improving strategic defenses in our economy. And it's like, what? What are you saying? What are you saying? And he's just standing there all sort of like, yes, I'm going to be president. What is he running for? Vice president? I don't know. He's standing there so smug. Look, the guy's a twin. I'm a twin. You know, the moment I was like, oh, when I first heard about him, I was like, oh, I hope he does well. But now, Castro. Is he a challenge? No mas. All right, that guy. Anywho. Tulsi Gabbard. Oh my God. Tulsi. Gosh, you don't want to get on the wrong side of Tulsi. That lady was the fourth moderator in that debate. She was an extra moderator. I want to ask you a question. I'm going to ask the candidates this question. Elizabeth Warren first. What? She's standing there on the edge of the stage going, all right, I have some questions for you folks. In white, like an angel. Oh my gosh. Look. Tulsi Gabbard is clearly, she's wise, especially for her age. She's wise. What is she, 38? She's wise. She's commanding. She's knowledgeable. She's an excellent performer. She speaks very well. She speaks like Obama. It's like she speaks in script, like printed. It's like the text is written in her brain, and the way she speaks just carries it out, and you can tell. She's deliberate, like a soldier. She's professional. She's so good. All right, but I want to say this. Okay, I say all that to tell you this. Tulsi, she smokes now. Tulsi smokes now. Tulsi Gabbard smokes now. She was smoking on that stage. I don't know what change they did to her hair, to her makeup, or what. My God, she's popping. What a smart thing to do. She is beautiful. She looked like a model on stage. I couldn't even believe it. Look, if I didn't know Tulsi Gabbard, if I didn't know what she was talking about, if I hadn't heard hours and hours of Tulsi Gabbard speaking, I'd think she was like what is she, some Hollywood actor. What is she? Standing on the stage. But she's all that professionalism, all that expertise, all that experience in a package that's like, God damn. I wouldn't mind looking at that at the State of the Union and in all the broadcasts and all. I wouldn't mind her being. I don't mean that. I mean her. I mean, look. Can you tell I'm bending over backwards to say how smart and capable and incredible I was for Tulsi Gabbard before I was for Andrew Yang. All right. She's my girl. All right. Not my girl, but you know what I mean. Not a girl, woman. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm not trying to insult her. God damn, she's beautiful. She's gorgeous. You can tell it was so smart because it's like the camera wants her on the screen. Like they want to put her on the screen because she looks so great. You're seeing someone flick through the channels. You want to see her next to Biden, her next to Elizabeth Warren, her next to Tom Steyer. She was great. And she's like looking, she's like staring. She's like this way. She's like staring at the candidates. Looking at them, straight at them. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. She's like, she wasn't there to talk necessarily to the people. She was there to the moderators. She was there to talk to her opponents. I'm coming after you. And man, snipe, snipe, snipe. Look, she didn't land the hits as strongly as I would like. And she had one strong moment that was kind of like twisted because they went to stupid commercial break. I don't know if that was embarrassment for her or for the network. I mean, how dare they? But I don't know. Commercials are heartbreaks. But I'm just sitting there watching, going, "Wow! I am so glad that Andrew Yang is on Tulsi's side. That Tulsi's on Andrew Yang's side because I don't need her coming out. She's a shark eyes, man, ran after you. Oh my God, camera worthy, excellent." And she went after the media. She went after the media. Bold. She went after the media direct. Oh my God. She's standing there. Is anybody noticing that she's glistening? Look, I sweat profusely. I sweat more than anybody I've ever seen. And I Google looking for people who sweat more than I do. I cannot find them. I sweat like crazy, all right? I am not. She was glistening. She's always glistening, okay? I don't know if it's sweat because it's nerves, it's hot in there, or what she's wearing, or whatever. But she don't look nervous. She's just glistening. It looks like she did it on purpose. God damn! The whole package. All right. That's it about Tulsi Gabbard. All right. All right. Welcome to the campaign to re-elect Andrew Yang. The road to the White House in 2024 begins with winning the White House in 2020. Are you a true believer? Are you with it all the way? 4 more years. Join the re-election, the campaign to re-elect Andrew Yang. Click subscribe and hit that bell so you know when I upload a video or when I go live. Show doesn't end in 2020, folks. Let's keep it going all the way. Let's get it started now. Pete Buttigieg. Okay, Pete stepped it up. He stepped it up so good, man. The guy came loaded for bear, man. That guy, he was ready to fight. This guy came in and he was ready to just, all corners, man. Not gonna let nothing slide. He got, I used to think Pete, I love Pete. I used to think he was like vanilla. He was vanilla, like the most ordinary thing. He looked like, I don't know, man. He looked like he just became a pastor at a Pentecostal church, you know? Like he looked so vanilla, plain. Like he had no bite to him, And I know to be gay, especially where he is, maybe it's difficult, and I give him props for that. That I gave him props for being atypical in a place that is to be what's the word? To be divergent, right? So props for him and achieving success at a young age. What he's doing, just absolutely good. But I thought it was weak sauce. I think it was vanilla. All right, Pete is not vanilla. That guy came ready. He was going after folks. He went after Beto hard, man. Hard. He just like grabbed on to Beto and he kept crushing and twisting and crushing and just squeezing. It's like he was trying to choke the life out of Beto O'Rourke's campaign. He pulled the Tulsi Gabbard, man. Sniper shot. Pew. Red dot to the chrome, son. Pete, he was not having it, man. If he heard something that rubbed him the wrong way, guy was like, you ain't gonna walk by me that way. You're gonna be just walking by me, talking me that way. You gotta be kidding me, son. You got another thing coming, son. I don't know what I'm doing here. I know what I'm mixing. Pete Buttigieg just started hacking away. Man, he just walked up to Beto and boom, just knocked one to the head and he just started hacking away. He's like, I don't even like that your body is whole. Gotta set. Anyway, I'm getting too gross here. Pete Buttigieg, he impressed me. He did good, and we're gonna watch that later. This is a TLDR. Can you believe that? The TLDR, yeah, right. All right, got Booker. All I got to say about Booker is that he's a crappier version of Kamala. Enough said. Beto, I just told you, man. Beto O'Rourke, he got pummeled by Pete, man. Beto's dead now. Beto's dead. He ain't alive no more. You thought Beto was alive, but after that debate, man, he was gone, man. They were looking for his body going, well, we don't even find pieces of him. Is that his shirt? Beto is no more. I think Pete Buttigieg took out Beto O'Rourke in that debate. Man, I was so proud of Pete. Mr. Sanctimonious Beto O'Rourke going as far left as possible. Look, I don't know if you agree with his policies or not, but this guy, he's like, I ain't want nobody standing to my left. There ain't gonna be nobody standing to my left. I know Klobuchar is standing over there, and I know Castro is standing over there. There ain't gonna be nobody standing to my left. Where's the wall? Where's the wall? I feel the wall. Let's go through that wall, man. It ain't enough. Pete just like, I ain't having that. Just freaking armbarred him. Like, nope. In your face. What year is this, huh? Anywho, poor Beto. May you rest in peace. Last but not least, Tom Steyer, a.k.a. Steyer who? Steyer who? Who the hell is Tom Steyer? What the heck is he standing on that debate stage? How did he get there? And how is he standing on the inside of Tulsi Gabbard? How is he on the inside of Tulsi Gabbard? What the hell is going on? How the heck? What are the rules that he's up there? People complain, are there too many people in the debate? Can we not have a guy who's not been in any of the debates and nobody knows? Look, I've heard the name Tom Steyer. I've heard that. But I don't know who the hell that guy is. I saw his face. I was like, did they pick somebody out of the crowd to do this? Who the heck is Tom Steyer? Steyer who? Anyway, not going to spend too much time on Tom Steyer, but what the hell, man? What the hell kind of system is in place where Tulsi Gabbard's got to struggle to get in there and Tom Steyer just like walks through the door like, what? Were there qualifications? I just walked in here. I saw a podium. I just started talking. And he's a billionaire? Look, maybe he's well known and I just don't know him. Maybe he's there for some reason, right? So there's something I don't know. But what the hell, man? All right. Let's get into the videos, folks. That was one hell of a TLDR. There you go. If you want a real TLDR, go watch Nerds for Yang. Tom talking there. That guy, he's got shorter clips than me. All right, let's get into the debates. We're going to go through the debate from beginning to end. Only the highlights, including Yang and everybody else. So we're going to have fun. So get ready for this. Are you ready for this?
Mr. Steyer, you've been calling for impeachment for 2 years. Does there need to be bipartisan support?
Well, Anderson, this is my first time on this stage, so I just want to start by reminding everybody that every candidate here is more decent, more coherent, and more patriotic than the criminal in the White House.
You see how he pauses for applause, pauses for the laughter. Oh man, as a comedian, you know, we don't pause for laughter, man. If it comes, it interrupts you. You don't pause. Then the criminal in the White House. This happened within the first few minutes of the debate. I'm watching this thing going, who the hell is Tom Steyer? And he has this pregnant pause. Nobody even heard word one about this guy. Oh my God. Oh my God. It was so funny. And right there, I was like, all right, I get it. I get it. There's media bias, and then there's people just like, Andrew Yang, who? Who the hell does he think he is? People see Andrew Yang the same way we see Tom Steyer. And when he lands his punches and stuff, you kind of feel the same way. If somebody else said what Tom Steyer just said, they probably got applause, right? And cheers. But because it's Steyer who, we get to laugh about it. And I think a lot of people feel that way about Andrew Yang. So don't. I'm showing you this video just so you feel like, all right, let me gain some perspective, okay? Let me gain some perspective here.
Mr. Yang, do you think there's already enough evidence out there to impeach the president? Please respond.
I support impeachment, but we shouldn't have any illusions that impeaching Donald Trump will, one, be successful, or two, erase the problems that got him elected in 2016. We're standing in the great state of Ohio, the ultimate purple state, the ultimate bellwether state. Why did Donald Trump win your state by 8 points? Because we got rid of 300,000 manufacturing jobs in your towns, and we're not stopping there. How many of you have noticed stores closing where you work and live here in Ohio? Raise your hands. It's not just you. Amazon alone is closing 30% of America's stores and malls, soaking up $20 billion in business while paying zero in taxes. These are the problems that got Donald Trump elected, the fourth industrial revolution. And that is going to accelerate and grow more serious regardless of who is in the Oval Office. The fact is, Donald Trump, when we're talking about him, we are losing. We need to present a new vision, and that even includes talking about impeaching Donald Trump.
Mr. Congressman O'Rourke, on impeachment, please respond.
Damn! Damn, man. Within the first question, Andrew Yang gets a question about impeachment of Donald Trump. He says, I'm for impeachment. And then he said, it ain't going to work. He squeezes in his message to the Ohio State voters. And then he ends by just a brutal truth. Talking about Donald Trump makes Donald Trump win. And that includes talking about impeachment. Drop the mic. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Can you imagine if any of the other candidates said that? If any of the other candidates said, hey, if we talk about impeachment, Donald Trump wins, all right? So let's not even talk about it, okay? Do it behind the scenes if you want to do it behind the scenes. It ain't going to work, you know, do whatever you got to do, but it ain't going to work, but still do it. But let's start talking about something else. Let's start talking about what matters to the voters. My God, a voice of reason. And the heavens opened up and I heard a voice and it said, Andrew Yang, he's my child, my chosen one. He has come to bring the light to the people. That's why I'm preaching the gospel of Andrew Yang, man. Going door to door. Hey, have you heard about our Lord and Savior, Andrew Yang? That guy, excellent answer, epic answer, everything in that answer. It couldn't have been better. It couldn't have been better. If he had a microphone in his back pocket and pulled it out and dropped it on the ground, then it would have been better. Andrew Yang, man. Woo. 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 This is how it starts. This is how it starts.
And the impeachment inquiry is centered on President Trump's attempts to get political dirt from Ukraine on Vice President Biden and his son Hunter. Mr. Vice President, President Trump has falsely accused your son of doing something wrong while serving on a company board in Ukraine. I want to point out there's no evidence of wrongdoing by either one of you.
I don't get this. I don't get this there's no evidence of wrongdoing business. Ooh. Are we talking about illegalities? Because probably there's nothing illegal going on, but no wrongdoing. He's falsely accused you of wrongdoing. I think it's a little wrong. It might not be illegal, but it's slimy, right? These moderators interjecting with their editorializing their questions. Kind of a softball that they're giving to Biden. We're going to defend you, right? From the get-go, we're going to defend you. You know, there's nothing for you to defend, you know, but how do you... My goodness.
Having said that, on Sunday, you announced that if you're president, no one in your family or associated with you will be involved in any foreign businesses. My question is, if it's not okay for a president's family to be involved in foreign businesses, why was it okay for your son when you were vice president? Vice President Biden?
Look, my son did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. I carried out the policy of the United States government in rooting out corruption in Ukraine. And that's what we should be focusing on. And what I wanted to make a point about, and my son's statement speaks for itself. He spoke about it today. My son's statement speaks for itself. What I think is important is we focus on why it's so important to remove this man from office.
You see that? You see what he's doing there? Let's put the focus. The focus should be on Donald Trump. My son's statement speaks for itself. Yeah, but what about you? Do you speak for yourself? We'd like to hear your opinion about what your son was doing. My son's statement speaks for itself. Therefore, I don't need to say anything about it, and we don't have to talk about it anymore. Why? Because your son made a statement? The problem we have is with your son and you about corrupt business, about the appearance of impropriety, the slimy behavior. We're not going to just, oh, well, I said it's nothing wrong, and my son said it's nothing wrong, and his statement speaks for itself, and move on to something else. What, are we supposed to take your judgment? We have a problem with your judgment. You have a problem with the way you view the world, the problem with the way you act. So you're not going to just let it go. My son's statement speaks for itself. It doesn't speak for itself. It doesn't speak for you.
On the 17th, look, the fact that George Washington worried on the first time he spoke after being elected president that what we had to worry about is foreign interference in our elections. It was the greatest threat to America.
I hate it when people who, look, he's making an argument that the founders did this and the founders thought this, and so they made this important. So this is what we should focus on today. This is what we should care about. But the founders also cared about guns. They also created the Second Amendment. If people want to take away those guns, oh, you shouldn't have the right to defend yourself. You don't need to defend yourself. You can't protect yourself against the government because the government already has all the guns. So you're screwed already. So give over your guns. Yeah, well, what about that then? The founders saw that foreign interference with their election was important back then, and it's important now. The founders also thought that being able to defend yourself against the government was important back then, and so let's make it important now. No, that's old. We're not going to let old white men decide what we should think about today. We're not going to let old white men in the past decide on what we should do today. All right, I'm not saying we should let people in the past decide on what we do today, but if you're going to use them for one thing, you can't say, oh, but for the other thing, they're totally idiots. What they say doesn't apply. What is that? Look, I do not mind people go with the founding fathers. Frig the founding fathers, man. Let's start now. Let's start creating our constitution now. Let's figure out what we want to do now. I am all for that, okay? I hate being enslaved by the decisions that were made before us, okay? And that ain't right. I don't think you're allowed to spend the money from people that are in the future, children in the future. I don't think you should be able to commit to war in the future. And I don't think I should be committed to or locked into what people decided 200 years ago, all right? Let's decide things now. We have the ability. If they could decide it then, we can decide it now. But if you're going to use the founding fathers for one thing, you can't poo-poo them for the other thing.
This president on three occasions, has invited foreign governments and heads of government to get engaged in trying to alter our elections. The fact is that it is outrageous. Rudy Giuliani, the president, and his thugs have already proven that they, in fact, are flat lying. What we have to do now is focus on Donald Trump. He doesn't want me to be the candidate. He's going after me because he knows if I get the nomination, I will beat him like a drum.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I just want to follow up. Mr. Vice President, as you said, your son Hunter today gave an interview, admitted that he made a mistake and showed poor judgment by serving on that board in Ukraine. Did you make a mistake by letting him? You were the point person on Ukraine at the time. If you can answer.
Look, my son's statement speaks for itself.
There it is. Talking points. Oh man, he was told to stay on script. You could tell. You could tell when candidates have been given something to say, all right? And they all do this, all right? But you could also tell when they don't deviate from it, all right? Statement speaks for itself. The focus should be on Donald Trump. That's what Biden's been saying for these past while. I did nothing wrong. My son's statement speaks for itself, and the focus should be on Donald Trump. That's what it keeps parroting over and over, and you hear that in this debate over and over. Your son's statement doesn't speak for...
I did my job. I never discussed a single thing with my son about anything having to do with Ukraine. No one has indicated I have.
No one has indicated I have? Dude, look, the problem is your trustworthiness. The problem is, are you corrupt and slimy or not? And how is your defense? Well, I'm not. So there. How about ask questions? What do you want to know? Ask me anything. I'll tell you what you need to know. Let's dive into the specifics. Do an investigation if you want to do an investigation. Check things out. I got nothing to hide. Let's hear it. That's what you say. You don't go, look, nothing went wrong. Everything was above board, and everybody agrees. Let's move on.
We've always kept everything separate. Even when my son was the Attorney General of the state of Delaware, we never discussed anything. So there'd be no potential conflict. My son made a judgment. I'm proud of the judgment he made. I'm proud of what he had to say. And let's focus on this. The fact of the matter is that this is about Trump's corruption. That's what we should be focusing on.
It can be about Trump's corruption and your corruption. One time people will say, hey, we can walk in true government at the same time. And other times is the focus needs to be on this. Why not both? You got a huge government. You have all kinds of people. You have tons of reporters. People can ask multiple questions at the same time. Just focus. Let's focus on one thing. The issue is Donald Trump. Yeah. And you, Joe Biden. And you. There's a problem, man. Look. The thing that bothers me the most about what happens in these governments is not what's illegal. That, at least there's recourse for that. What bothers me is what's legal. That's what Andrew Yang, he keeps talking. He says, look, my goodness, the corporations are getting away with paying zero in taxes or very little in taxes because that's how it's legal to do that. So the problem ain't the corporations. The problem is the system. And Joe Biden is like, let's defend the system. He's the defender of the system. Let's return to the status system. Joe Quo to the rescue. The problem is what's legal. The problem is what's not wrong. The problem is what everybody's doing. The problem is that everybody's looked at this and hasn't said a word about it. That is the problem. So let's talk about it. Serenity now. Serenity now. All right, next up we got Elizabeth Warren. And of course, she's asked if she's going to raise taxes on the middle class. Spoiler alert, the answer is yes. Her answer means yes. All right, but that's not what she said. That's not what she says, all right? That's not what she says. What does she say? All right? Can you give a straight answer? Let's listen to this.
Senator Warren, to be clear, Senator Sanders acknowledges he's going to raise taxes on the middle class to pay for Medicare for all. You've endorsed his plan. Should you acknowledge it too?
So the way I see this, it is about what kinds of costs middle-class families are going to face.
What kinds of costs middle-class families are going to face? Yeah, Elizabeth, absolutely. That's reframing the question. He's asking you about taxes. Look, costs, of course, are going to be better for the people. Even Bernie Sanders says that. But you're going to have to accept a raise in taxes. Now, I get that Elizabeth Warren doesn't want to say that, right? Look, it's like this, right? You go to a doctor, right? You got into an accident, right? Your leg's all mangled up, right? You go to the doctor and you say, hey, doc, what are you going to do about my leg? You're like, we're going to make you better. Really? Am I going to get to keep my leg? We're going to make you better. Yeah, but what about my leg? Are you going to cut it off? We're going to make sure that you stay alive. Yeah, but I want to know, am I going to lose my leg? What's really important is that you're going to live, and you're going to live a healthy, long, healthy life. Yes, but I want to know specifically, will you cut my leg off? What's really important is that I want to know you're going to raise my taxes. Okay, yeah, I can reframe it. Okay, you're going to raise my taxes, we're going to have lowering costs. So I can make that math. But the fact that you won't say that makes you sound like a gosh darn politician all the time. It makes it sound like on purpose. I am going to make sure that I cover my words so that you don't get afraid at what I'm saying, because I don't trust you and I think you're too stupid to understand that I have to raise your taxes, but that's okay by you, all right? Bernie Sanders, on the other hand, is like, yeah, but you're going to be far better off. You're not going to pay this, you're not going to pay that, you're not going to pay this, and you're going to be better off. Elizabeth Warren?
So let me be clear on this. Costs will go up for the wealthy. They will go up for big corporations, and for middle-class families, they will go down. I will not sign a bill into law that does not lower costs for middle-class families.
Oh, super clear, Elizabeth. Super clear, Warren. Let me be clear. I am not going to answer your question. I'm not going to use your phrasing or your words. I'm going to answer the question that I want to answer, which by itself is smart. By itself is smart. It is smart to do that. Don't answer the question they ask you. You answer your own question. That's smart. But when they stick you, when people have been asked you 10, 20, 30 times, hey, we want to know specifically this. Not just reporters, but everybody. We want to know specifically this. The fact that then you won't answer, highly suspicious. Just like Biden, right? The focus should be on Donald Trump. My son's statement speaks for itself. They got anything else? Do you have any other words?
Mayor Buttigieg, you say Senator Warren has been, quote, evasive about how she's going to pay for Medicare for all. What's your response?
Well, we heard it tonight. A yes or no question that didn't get a yes or no answer.
What the hell is this? I mean, Pete's right? A yes or no question that did not get a yes or no answer. I get that, all right? But why the hell does the moderator have to throw Pete Buttigieg in? It's like tapping in Pete Buttigieg. Hey, can you take this Warren gal, please? Can you go after her now? It's the moderator's job. They're squeezing in Pete Buttigieg so that he gets to speak, so that he gets airtime, so that he's in there, because they like Pete, so get him to talk more. Hey, Pete, the question I just asked Elizabeth Warren, do you want to ask Elizabeth Warren that same question? Do you still feel the same way? What is that? What is that? Can you imagine if they turned to Andrew Yang and they were like, Andrew Yang, do you believe that Elizabeth Warren is dodging the question? People would be like, why the hell are you asking Andrew Yang if Elizabeth dodging? You're the moderator. Ask the goddamn question. Ask a follow-up. Be specific. Get hard. Oh my God. Oh, Pete, could you do our jobs for us, please? Thanks. And Pete was just straight out. A yes or no question that did not get a yes or no answer. He's absolutely right. That's what the moderator should do. All right, this next video is Bernie Sanders. This is how you answer the questions. The question about whether or not your taxes will be raised. This guy, Elizabeth Warren, take notes.
Senator Sanders.
Well, as somebody who wrote the damn bill, as I said, let's be clear. Under the Medicare for all bill that I wrote, premiums are gone. Co-payments are gone. Deductibles are gone. All out-of-pocket expenses are gone. We're going to do better than the Canadians do, and that is what they have managed to do. At the end of the day, the overwhelming majority of people will save money on their health care bills. But I do think it is appropriate to acknowledge that taxes will go up. They're going to go up significantly for the wealthy. And for virtually everybody, the tax increase they pay will be substantially less than what they were paying for premiums and out-of-pocket expenses.
There. Done. Explained. Is that so difficult? Are all Bernie Sanders supporters terrified of Bernie and he's going to raise our taxes? He explained it very clearly. Bernie Sanders is an example of a man who's doing it right. All right, up next we got Sanders. And it's just a quick clip of him just like, this is the problem I have with the federal jobs guarantee, you know? And when I first heard about it, I don't think I really understood it. I didn't understand the scope that he was talking about. How are you going to have it? You're like, are you really going to have the federal job guarantee for tens of millions of people? Let's hear his answer.
Senator Sanders, you say your federal jobs guarantee is part of the answer to the threat from automation. But tens of millions of Americans could end up losing their jobs. Are you promising that you will have a job for every single one of those Americans?
Damn right we will. And I'll tell you why.
Damn right we will. Damn right we will. Really? How does he not how does he not lose right after this? This doesn't make any sense. Look, I'm uneducated. I just don't know. I've got to dive into these things more. You know, there's two sides. There's complexities. There's things that I don't get. How many people does the government employ now?
If you look at what goes on in America today, we have an infrastructure which is collapsing. We could put 15 million people to work rebuilding our roads, our bridges, our water systems, our wastewater plants, airports, etc. Furthermore, and I hope we will discuss it at length tonight, this planet faces the greatest threat in its history from climate change. And the Green New Deal that I have advocated will create up to 20 million jobs as we move away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy.
Right, when he puts it that way, I kind of see, you know, he sees the urgency, the crisis, the need, and a federal jobs guarantee may not be, I guess I'm putting words in his mouth, but it may not be the ideal scenario, but it is a solution for the crisis that we're in. People are in need, people are suffering, and there's work that needs to be done. So why doesn't the government just go in there and organize that and get things done? Right? The private sector doesn't seem to be doing it effectively. Things are falling apart. Why not go and do a federal jobs guarantee? So, you know, when I think about it in terms of like an emergency, I guess I can kind of get that. I agree with Andrew Yang. It seems like a dystopian future, you know, like 1984, George Orwell. You know, everybody's going to work for the government, but it's not mandatory, and there are things that need to be done. So, I don't know. I can kind of see 15 million with this plan, 20 million with the Green New Deal. You know, just like Andrew Yang's, like when it comes to, oh, and this will produce millions and this will produce that, that remains to be seen. But I don't know. I'm a little bit, Bernie Sanders, I'm a little bit more sold on it. It's still like, it's a terrible idea. But I think within the context of what's going on now, maybe it is a good idea for short term. Right? Because once the infrastructure is fixed, once things are resolved, then do we really need a federal jobs guarantee? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe there'll be better jobs. People will just move to other things. I don't know. I'm thinking. All right, up next we've got the battle that we were looking for. Federal jobs versus freedom dividend. Head to head. So here we have Andrew Yang just the smackdown on the federal jobs guarantee. Now, look, I love the way Andrew Yang, he goes about this. You can tell. Look, check it out.
Senator Sanders, thank you. Mr. Yang, your main solution to job loss from automation is a universal basic income. Why is giving people $1,000 a month better than Sanders' plan to get guaranteeing them a job?
Can I just say that I am super proud of Andrew Yang and so happy that automation now is part of the conversation. You guys remember much of automation? I don't know. I got to look back. But do you remember automation being talked about in the first couple of debates? Automation now is like they asked a few people about automation here today. It was a topic of conversation. Andrew Yang did that. Right? Am I wrong? Or is it just because they're in Ohio?
I am for the spirit of a federal jobs guarantee, but you have to look at how it would actually materialize in practice.
I am for the spirit. This guy, I love how he is able to be like, I'm on board, and I also disagree fully. You know, I agree with the spirit of the law, but not the letter of the law. So you're going to break the law? Yeah, we're going to break the law.
What are the jobs? Who manages you? What if you don't like your job? What if you're not good at your job? The fact is, most Americans do not want to work for the federal government. And saying that that is the vision of the economy of the 21st century, to me, is not a vision that most Americans would embrace. Also, Senator Sanders' description of a federal jobs guarantee does not take into account the work of people like my wife, who's at home with our 2 boys, one of whom is autistic. We have a freedom dividend of $1,000 a month. It actually recognizes the work that is happening in our families and our communities. It helps all Americans transition. Because the fact is, and you know this in Ohio, if you rely upon the federal government to target its resources, you wind up with failed retraining programs and jobs that no one wants. When we put the money into our hands, we can build a trickle-up economy. From our people, our families, and our communities up, it will enable us to do the kind of work that we want to do. This is the sort of positive vision in response to the 4th Industrial Revolution that we have to embrace as a party.
Oh my God! It's so hard because I love Bernie Sanders, but Andrew Yang has got to take him down. For us to win, Bernie has to lose. And Andrew Yang just riddled that guy with bullets. That's the wrong sound for a machine gun, but pow, 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 pew, 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 pew. That guy got filled with bullets. How is Andrew Yang fitting so much content into his answers? Efficient. The guy is like a Native American. He's not leaving any, I hope that's the right term. He's not leaving anything behind. He's using every part of the buffalo, man. The guy's, he's given every second. This guy takes every second. He fits everything in there. He's got an elevator pitch for all his answers. And it's not answers like, oh, let me tell you a story and pull on your heartstrings and this is why we should do what I want. This guy's like, explain it to you, man. Like an entrepreneur. Not even like a professor. Like an entrepreneur. Facts. Straight to you. This is the problem. This is how we fix it. How can you listen to that and not at least doubt the federal jobs guarantee? Most Americans don't want to work for the federal government. Yeah, you think? How is anybody... And we'll see later, Bernie Sanders is talking about millions of people, tens of millions of people working for the federal government. Look, everybody has a job. That's great. Getting paid a great salary. That's fantastic. Great benefits. Absolutely. Have a job to do in the morning and at night. That's pretty decent. That's pretty good. Reliable, stable. Absolutely. But all that's predicated about all these people working for the government. If I told you we're going to make 20 million unemployed, 20 million Americans, we're going to make them work for Google. What would you say? We're going to make them work for McDonald's. But they're gonna get great job, great pay, stability. Yeah, but everybody doesn't want to work for McDonald's. Everybody doesn't. We're gonna make them work for Tom's Hardware. What? To all these people, all for one thing? The government's not made to do that. That's like somebody's like, hey, you ask them, hey, could I get a lift? They're like, yeah, sure, right? Going to some party. And then you get to the car and it turns out that guy promised lifts to everybody in the neighborhood. So all of his friends. So now you're like 8 people trying to fit into a car that can fit like 6, 5.5. You ever do that? You're like sitting on top of each other. You're like, oh, this car fits everybody. Let's go. On the road again. You know what I mean? The car is not made to fit all those people, and the government's not made to employ tens of millions of people. We need infrastructure, we need nannies, we need teachers, we need firefighters, we need all those things, but it's not going to be provided by the federal government. Oh, honey, what does your lover do for a living? Oh, they work for the federal government. Oh yeah, what does your lover do for a living? they work for the federal government. And how about you, federal government? Federal government. I thought so. So everybody works for the federal government now. I guess we solved all our problems. Problem solved. Andrew Yang killed it with that answer, man. Killed it, man. Guy's a murderer. Murder. All right. Calm down. We got so much more Yang to go. Let's go. All right, in this next clip, Elizabeth Warren, she says automation is not responsible for the loss of jobs. It's trades. All right, let's hear her out.
Senator Warren, you wrote that blaming job loss on automation is, quote, a good story, except it's not really true. So should workers here in Ohio not be worried about losing their jobs to automation?
So the data show that we've had a lot of problems with losing jobs, but the principal reason has been bad trade policy. The principal reason has been a bunch of corporations, giant multinational corporations, who've been calling the shots on trade, giant multinational corporations that have no loyalty to America. They have no loyalty to American workers. They have no loyalty to American consumers. They have no loyalty to American communities. They are loyal only to their own bottom line. I have a plan to fix that, and it's accountable capitalism. It says you want to have one of the giant corporations in America, then by golly, 40% of your board of directors should be elected by your employees. That'll make a difference when a corporation decides, gee, we could save a nickel by moving a job to Mexico, when there are people on the board in the boardroom saying, no. Do you know what that does to our company? Do you know what that does to our community, to what it does to our workers? We also need to make it easier to join a union and give unions more power when they negotiate. We need to restructure strength in this economy, and that's where it starts.
Thank you, Senator.
All right, so my only problem with this response here, like maybe trade policy is to blame for some of this or a lot of this, I don't know. But to go from that to automation is not a problem and people are not losing their jobs and they're not going to because of trade policy. What a way to like sidestep the issue. I would have expected her to say something like, that is a major issue and it's something for us to do something about. You know, we got to pay attention to that. But no, it's like, no, the real reason is this. And that is not really, I've looked at the data. She's looked at the data. What? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Elizabeth Warren is right, huh? Let's see. All right, next up, Castro, right? He asked about automation. Again, automation is being talked about. Thank you, Andrew Yang. And then he says, hey, UBI, I'd be interested. Let's listen.
Secretary Castro, what's your response to Senator Warren's claim that automation is a good story, except it's not really true?
Well, I think what folks have said is that is only part of the issue, right? I believe that we need to address communities that are being impacted by automation. I'm even willing to pilot something like UBI and to see how that would work. But I think we need to focus on making sure that we spark job opportunity for people across this country.
People are talking about UBI. Castro ain't the only one. He ain't the only one.
Thank you. You know, really what this is about is getting to the heart of the fear that is well-founded. As people look to this automation revolution, they look to uncertainty. They don't know how this is going to affect their jobs and their everyday lives. And I agree with my friend Andrew Yang. I think universal basic income is a good idea to help provide that security so that people can have the freedom to make the kinds of choices that they want to see.
All right, coming up here, we're going to watch. This is... It's hard to say, you know, because there have been many moments, but this is probably the proudest I've been of Andrew Yang to date, all right? This video is going to make your night. Let's watch it.
So that people can afford child care instead of having to pay 20% of their income for it.
Senator Warren, I've been talking to Americans around the country about automation, and they're smart. They see what's happening around them. Their Main Street stores are closing. They see a self-serve kiosk in every McDonald's, every grocery store, every CVS.
Yang, baby! Oh, man. Interrupts with an uppercut just... Oh my God, this guy. Oh my God, I've never been so happy, so proud of Andrew Yang. I lost my top, man. I lost my head. My stack went off. It was nuts. Just steam came out of my ears. Woo! I was like ringing bells. I was like a Disney character. I was a Bugs Bunny character. Wow, wow. Oh my God. Did you hear that? Did you hear the boy Yang interrupted? That moment was when I knew Yang listens to everything we say, anything that's meaningful, and he's able to implement it, roll it all in, just fold it in and deliver it. Oh my God. Oh my God. My boy Andrew Yang, man. That's why I am Yang Gang. Because that man there, tip of the top, tip of the top.
Driving a truck is the most common job in 29 states, including this one. 3.5 million truck drivers in this country, and my friends in California are piloting self-driving trucks. What is that going to mean for the 3.5 million truckers or the 7 million Americans who work in truck stops, motels, and diners that rely upon the truckers getting out and having a meal? Saying this is a rules problem is ignoring the reality that Americans see around us every single day.
Senator Warren, respond, please.
So he interrupts, right, about automation because you're damn well sure you're not going to leave Andrew Yang out of the topic of automation. This guy comes in with all the facts, with all the numbers. He's looking at Elizabeth Warren. He's looking at the other candidates. He's going off of it. He seems totally confident. His voice is right in that perfect place that it should be. The guy's nailing it. Not a hiccup. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, crush it. Look, I worry sometimes about candidates, you know? Are they really listening? Who are they listening to? Poll testers and all? He's listening to the Yang Gang. He knew. He did that for us. He did that for America. Butt in. He's not a butt-in-er. He's not a butt-in-er. Butt-in-er? No. The guy don't butt in, all right? But he did that strong, and he did his best to do that, and he laid it on, man. Come on, Yang! Celebrate that stuff. Talk about that. Tweet that out. Oh my God. Oh, Trump fears Yang? All Dems fear Yang. Dems fear Yang, man. The guy is like coming out. He's like ready. He's not attacking the individuals. He's like, I'm on board, really nice. Elizabeth Warren gets everything right. It's just that this doesn't work. And then facts, numbers, data, my way is the best way. Bam. Attacking policy ideas, saying outright, it's not good. It won't work. Don't do that. Prescriptive. Oh, so good. Sometimes I just want to give Andrew Yang one big hug and a kiss on the mouth, you know, with a little tongue. With consent. With consent. With consent. Look who else is in on the UBI game. Elizabeth Warren. Warren's freedom dividend. $200 for very specific people. And that's going to do a lot to raise them out of poverty and give them some wiggle room. Huh? Let's hear what she's got to say about UBI. Elizabeth Warren on the freedom dividend train. Whoop, whoop.
I understand that what we're all looking for is how we strengthen America's middle class. And actually, I think the thing closest to the universal basic income is Social Security. It's one of the reasons that I put forward a plan to extend the solvency of Social Security by decades and to add $200 to the payment of every person who receives Social Security right now and every person who receives disability insurance right now. That $200 a month will lift nearly 5 million families out of poverty, and it will sure loosen up the budget for a whole lot more.
All right, we're in dangerous territory here. 200. If it's 200, why not 300? Why not 500? Right? Andrew Yang, he's got a top there. He says, hey, the poverty level is 12,700. My freedom dividend is just below that poverty level. So that's why I stopped there. But why 200? Wouldn't 400 help them? Right? Wouldn't 500 help them? There's wiggle room. And if you gave them 500, 600, 800, 1,000, would that radically change your society? Huh? Explain that. If 200, Elizabeth Warren, why not more? You're going to do your wealth tax and you're going to get money from the okay, and then you're going to redistribute it, and somehow some people are going to get $200 extra, right? They're going to get it at the end of their lifetime. All right. Andrew Yang says, hey, I'm going to do my whole little tax thing here, and I'm going to get the cash from where it's going. And then I'm also going to, and I'm going to do it in a way that's far more effective and efficient, in a way that's been proven, because your wealth tax is not proven, and the VAT tax, it is proven. And so I'm going to use that method, and I'm going to get money, and then I'm going to be able to give $1,000. The government's going to be able to give $1,000 a month to people. Where's the wiggle room there? That's freedom, baby. That's not wiggle room. That's freedom. That's the ability to make real moves in this world, real choices, transform whole industries. Oh my God, Elizabeth Warren, come on now. The only reason she's saying this is because she heard Andrew Yang's thing. She goes, wow, that is a powerful idea. Can I do something like it? Well, she's already got other things, so she can't do too much with it. Got to give you $200. Andrew Yang is efficient, right? He's efficient. And he's going to, and effective. He's going to get you that money. He's going to get you $1,000. Oh, I'm going to get it. $1,000 a month. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
It also has a provision for your wife, for those who stay home to do caregiving for children or for seniors, and creates an opportunity for them to get credit on their Social Security. So after a lifetime of hard work, people are entitled to retire with dignity.
Thank you, Senator Warren.
I see this as an important question about I want to understand the data on this.
Senator,
and
thank you very
I want to make
much.
sure we're responding to make this work.
Your time is up. I want to give Congresswoman.
You're gonna I'm choking here. I'm choking here, man. I'm getting woozy over here. $200. Provide credit for the people who work at home, etc., caretakers who are gonna get it at the end of their life. And it's so complicated. You're going to need bureaucracy, you're going to need government infrastructure, administration, you're going to need all kinds of money in order to set that up. So complicated. Andrew Yang is like, you're a citizen, you got a bank account, send that citizen $1,000, bruh. Hey, bruh, you want to send this citizen $1,000 real quick? Yeah, every month. Yeah, bruh. That's my bruh. You're my bruh, bro. I don't know how that works. I don't have any bras. So complicated, man. How are you going to compete? Oh, my whole system, whole plan, ever been done before. Andrew Yang is like, send a check out. That's it. That's it. Send the check out. $1,000. Forget about all the money, Elizabeth Warren, that you're going to spend on bureaucracy and figuring those out and committees, all that. Take all that money. Just give it to the people. Give them more. Oh, my God. How can you listen to Elizabeth Warren Freedom Dividend and it compare at all to Andrew Yang's? She's going to start getting people thinking, hey, getting $200 a month, getting $200 a month, that seems like good. I can get $200 a month. The Sunday you come along, hey, got $1,000 a month. What? Doesn't seem so impossible anymore. Ho, 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 ho. And then you hear what Andrew Yang says at the end here?
Thank you, Senator Warren.
I see this as an important question about I want to understand the data on this.
Senator, thank you very much.
I want to make sure we're responding to make this work.
Your time is up. I want to give.
I have the data. I have the data. Yeah, baby. Oh, somebody put that on a t-shirt quick. Yang, he has the data. I got the data, baby. Yang has the data, baby. Yes, Elizabeth Warren, I have data. I totally messed it up. I have the data. Oh my God. Andrew Yang, man. You're too much. You're too much. You're killing me, Yang. You're killing me. All right, here is where Elizabeth Warren, she lost me. This is where she showed who she really is. This is where the yuckiness of her character came out. And what she says and how she lays it right there with that smug look on her face, it just, watch this.
My question is not why do Bernie and I support a wealth tax. It's why does everyone else on this stage think it is more important to protect billionaires than it is to invest in an entire generation of Americans?
Thank you, Senator Warren.
No one is
Mayor
supporting
Buttigieg.
billionaires.
Mayor Buttigieg.
Screw you, Elizabeth Warren. What the hell is that? Everyone else on this stage cares more about billionaires. What the hell is up with you, man? Where do you get the goal? What the heck is that? She's just, I'm right. There it is. I said it. I care more than Bernie and I care more than everybody on this stage. How dare they? How dare you, Elizabeth Warren? She gets the smackdown for that, and she really deserves it, man. What the frick? That was Elizabeth Warren has never said anything that has bothered me. Not really. I might disagree with her, and I might think she's phony a bit, but never really bothered me. That statement right there, done with Elizabeth Warren. How can you stand up there and just besmirch everybody on the stage, even Tom Steyer, cares more? What? Everybody, do you even know what Tom Steyer stands for? I don't even know what Tom Steyer stands for. What the heck, man? You telling me, oh, Andrew Yang? Oh yeah, he cares. Andrew Yang, you care more about billionaires than you do about the American people. That's you. You. Tulsi, you care more about billionaires. What the hell? Look, I really try and not swear on this channel, I want to try to keep it clean. I don't want to use swearing, cussing for an absence of wit. But by the hammer of Thor, how dare she? By Zeus's lightning bolt. My God, she's so smug. Oh.
But I want to give a reality check here to Elizabeth, because no one on this stage wants to protect billionaires. Not even the billionaire wants to protect billionaires. We just have different approaches. Your idea is not the only idea.
Thank God for Klobuchar right there, huh? Thank God for Klobuchar. She was the perfect person to say, what is up with you, man? Let me smack you a little bit, put some sense into you. Not even the billionaires up here fighting for billionaires. What the hell are you talking about? Look at this. Thank you, Klobuchar. Thank you for that. All right, another Andrew Yang clip. This one, this one is super sweet as well. So have a glass of wine with you, a shot of whiskey, because you're gonna definitely want this for this clip here. Andrew Yang, he has this way of, he starts off, he's your buddy, he's your pal, I'm with you, we're on the same side. This one is about Elizabeth Warren and the wealth tax, right? So we saw the federal jobs versus the freedom dividend, right? That's with Bernie Sanders. That's where they got their beef. And Elizabeth Warren and Andrew Yang, they got their beef on the wealth tax, Andrew Yang starts off, I'm all on your side, and then wham, he just changes it around, just cuts your legs out from under you, just, whew, you didn't even see it coming. You gotta watch this clip.
Mr. Yang, your response. Would you oppose a wealth tax?
Senator Warren is 100% right that we're in the midst of the most extreme winner-take-all economy in history. And a wealth tax makes a lot of sense in principle. The problem is that it's been tried in Germany, France, Denmark, Sweden, and all those countries ended up repealing it because it had massive implementation problems and did not generate the revenue that they'd projected. If we can't learn from the failed experiences of other countries, what can we learn from? We should not be looking to other countries' mistakes.
Oh my God! If we can't learn from the failed experiences of other countries, what can we learn from? If he had just included, Elizabeth Warren, ? Oh my God. This guy is just going at her proposal. He's just basically explaining to the American people why this won't work. That's it. Can you imagine? Are people going to be talking about this? Are people talking about this? Am I missing this? Andrew Yang explained more clearly than I ever heard him explain why the wealth tax won't work. It had nothing to do with Republican talking points. It had to do with facts, data. They tried in these other countries. It don't work. Oh my God.
Instead, we should look at what Germany, France, Denmark, and Sweden still have, which is a value-added tax.
Did you see that Andrew grin he gets? He gets that Andrew grin, he gets his hands together. Oh my God, that Andrew grin, it's so good.
If we give the American people a tiny slice of every Amazon sale, every Google search, every robot truck mile, every Facebook ad, we can generate hundreds of billions of dollars and then put it into our hands because we know best how to use it.
Thank you. Thank you.
We know best how to use it. Boom! Boom! Just explosions everywhere. Guy's not wasting time. He came to play. Came to play, son. Stack ammo, man. This guy's Eminem. Woo! Woo! Man, that was good. You just standing there smoking, smolder eyes, just like The Rock, you know. Well, he didn't bite his bottom lip, but damn. You ever see that you see on the Nature Channel, you see like an animal, like a lioness or something, go after a gazelle or something, and it just like captures them and then just tears them apart. That's what Andrew Yang just did to the wealth tax, folks. Elizabeth Warren's wealth tax. May she rest it. May it rest in peace. All right, we got Tulsi here, and look, I don't want to say this in a way that makes me seem sexist or whatever. Look, I do not care. I would not care if Tulsi looked like, no matter what she looked like, okay? If she looked like the Wicked Witch of the West, who cares, all right? Her looks have nothing to do with why I like her. But god damn, she's smoking, son. Damn! She's standing up there, commanding the room, fully present, incapable, intelligent experience. You could tell. And on top of all that, on top of how amazing she is, strong woman, absolutely, smoking, man, smoking. And I think she knows it. I think she knows it.
Donald Trump has the blood of the Kurds on his hand, but so do many of the politicians in our country from both parties who have supported this ongoing regime change war in Syria that started in 2011, along with many in the mainstream media who have been championing and cheerleading this regime change war.
Damn. There's the bus, and Tulsi's just throwing people under it. Everybody's responsible here.
Not only that, but New York Times and CNN have also smeared veterans like myself for calling for an end to this regime change war.
Media, sniper shot, man. Media, she's coming after you too. Man, Tulsi she's the one, Bernie does it sometimes, but Tulsi and Andrew Yang on the slide does it, but Tulsi is the only one who seems to be like really going hard after the media. And I love her for that. She's got to be in there. Look, man, she's got to be in there until the very end, at the very least. All right, at the very least. You know, if she wins it, I'm not going to lose any sleep. I'm not going to lose any sleep. Because there's no way she doesn't listen to Andrew Yang. But wow.
Just 2 days ago, the New York Times put out an article saying that I'm a Russian asset and an Assad apologist and all these different smears. This morning, a CNN commentator said on national television that I'm an asset of Russia. Completely despicable. As president, I will end these regime change wars.
Completely despicable. Oh my God, finally addressing it. How many times has she got to say that? Are they still bad-mouthing her? Are they still bad-mouthing Tulsi Gabbard? Calling her a Russian stooge, an agent, an asset? Tulsi Gabbard stood up for herself there. She did it good. Do you see how she speaks and how commanding she is and how, wow, she's got so much power in the way she presents herself. And she's slow, deliberate. You know, I used to hate when Obama did this. He just slow, methodical, you know, well-spoken. And I was just like, oh my God, speak like a normal person. You know, so I like Yang. He's just like a normal person. But Tulsi, seeing her talk in that commander voice, it's good. It's very good.
Mayor Buttigieg, like many of your fellow candidates on the stage, you've been calling for an end to endless wars. What's your response on Syria?
Well, respectfully, Congresswoman, I think that is dead wrong. The slaughter going on in Syria is not a consequence of American presence. It's a consequence of a withdrawal and a betrayal by this president of American allies and American values.
Pete, he's out in the open. Sniper Gabbard. She's going for you. She's going for Pete. Let's see how Pete does.
Look, I didn't think we should have gone to Iraq in the first place. I think we need to get out of Afghanistan. But it's also the case that a small number of specialized special operations forces and intelligence capabilities were the only thing that stood between that part of Syria and what we're seeing now, which is the beginning of a genocide and the resurgence of ISIS. Meanwhile, soldiers in the field are reporting that for the first time they feel ashamed of what their country has done. We saw the spectacle, the horrifying sight of a woman with the lifeless body of her child in her arms asking what the hell happened to American leadership. And when I was deployed, I knew one of the things keeping me safe was the fact that the flag on my shoulder represented a country known to keep its word. And our allies knew it, and our enemies knew it.
Thank you, Mayor.
You take that away, you are taking away what makes America America.
Mayor.
It makes our troops and the world a much more dangerous place.
All right, Pete's looking good. Pete came out, Pete's solid response, you know? The heart, passion, he's strong, not vanilla at all, you know? And Tulsi just, man, giving him that side eye, ready to pop him. Let's see what happens.
Congresswoman Gabbard, your response.
Yeah, absolutely. So really what you're saying, Mayor Pete, is that you would continue to support having U.S. troops in Syria for an indefinite period of time to continue this regime change war that has caused so many refugees to flee Syria, that you would continue to have our country involved in a war that has undermined our national security. You would continue this policy of the U.S. actually providing arms and support to terrorist groups in Syria, like Al-Qaeda, HTS, al-Nusra, and others, because they are the ones who have been the ground force in this regime change war. That's really what you're saying.
Mayor Pete.
No, you can embrace, or you can put an end to endless war without embracing Donald Trump's policy.
Will you end the regime
as you're
change
doing.
war is the question.
What we are doing.
What is an endless war if it's
Allow
not
him to
yet
respond.
another regime change war?
Please allow him to respond.
What we are doing, or what we were doing in Syria, was keeping our word.
Oh my God, man. Oh, not letting go, right? She's not letting go. Can you believe Pete had to stand there and take that? Oh man. She's just looking at him from across the stage. Answer me, brah. I have a question for you. Woof, woof. Moderator Gabbard on stage here. Not letting things go. Not letting things go. Got a funny moment here with Joe Biden. Take a look.
The fact of the matter is you have Russia influencing and trying to break up NATO. What does the president do? He says, I believe Vladimir Putin. I believe Vladimir Putin. I don't believe our intelligence community.
Suggesting I'm Vladimir
No,
Putin.
I'm not. No, I'm not. But here, look, but here's the deal. Think what that did.
Old Joe Quo. Oh, Joe Quo. What would the race be without him, huh? Less fun, I think. Less fun. All right, next up we got Andrew Yang. It's a clip of him answering a question about Russia and the U.S. elections. Let's listen.
Mr. Yang, your response to Putin and Russia.
Of course. We have to look at the chain of events. How did we get here? The fact is we're falling apart at home, so we voted in Donald Trump, and he's now led us down this dangerous path with erratic and unreliable foreign policy. We have to let Russia know, look, we get it. We've tampered with other elections, you've tampered with our elections, and now it has to stop. And if it does not stop, we will take this as an act of hostility against the American people. I believe most Americans would support me on this.
Can I just say how happy I am to hear a candidate talk about a chain of events, recognizing that this moment didn't start here. It started before, that there was a cascade, a domino effect that led to this moment. Now, if you're going to solve any problem, you got to look at its originating factors and where it's coming from and what was the inception of this circumstance. It doesn't begin when the tragedy occurs, when the problem occurs. It occurs well before that.
But Russian hacking of our democracy is an illustration of the 21st century threats. Artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, climate change, loose nuclear material, military drones, and non-state actors. These are the threats that are going to require our administration to catch up in terms of technology.
This is the smart move he does, right? A little bit of Elizabeth Warren, right? You take the question and then you make it your own. You answer the question you want to answer. And this guy, he's expanding it now, going, it ain't just about the threat we face from Russia. There's so much more that's going on. Listen to this.
We all know we are decades behind the curve on technology. We saw when Mark Zuckerberg testified at Congress the nature of the questioning. As Commander-in-Chief, I will help pull us forward.
Thank you.
Mark,
and that's going to be a huge responsibility of the
Mr.
next
Yang.
president.
Thank
I
you,
want
Mr. Yang.
to respond to Mr. Yang. I don't see a moral equivalency between our country and Russia. Vladimir.
Great answer. Klobuchar at the end there, I don't see a moral equivalency. I hear people say this on a regular basis. You know, America, you're trying to say that America is just like Russia. America is just as bad as they are. We're not as bad as they are. Look, I accept that the U.S. isn't as bad as Russia or the government or whatever you want to say. What does that mean? Does that mean that now we don't have to pay attention to what you're doing? And Zhang is saying, look, we got to admit our part of the problem, our share of the blame. We meddled in your elections. You meddled in ours. That act that they did, the interference that they did, is interference that the U.S. does on a regular basis to some degree or another. Let's not pretend otherwise. Look, you can't be incredibly strong country, most powerful country, most prosperous country that has ever existed, technologies and capabilities like never before, have corruption in your own country, corruption in branches of your own government, corruption in what you're doing. Oh, but everything we're doing with foreign policy is totally on the up and up. We're angels. We're only doing good in the world. Don't compare us to Russia. What are you talking about? You do good things, you do bad things. Okay? And Andrew Yang is not saying that Russia is equal to the United States, that the wrong they do is equal to the United States. It's comparing apples and oranges. I don't see a moral equivalency between us and Russia. That's politician speak, all right? There's nobody with half a mind who doesn't realize that what Russia does or did, we do or would do. And when I say we, I mean all people, all right? I mean all countries if they could. Gosh. But Andrew Yang really doing really well there, with that answer. The guy is squeezing in a ton. I know I said that before, but he's squeezing in a ton in these answers. Andrew Yang, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're like a robot, man. You're like a winning machine. It's like you're like calculating, figure out what do I need, input, synthesize, integrated, level up, achievement unlocked. Oh, my goodness. This game that we're playing, the Andrew Yang game, the Yang Gang game. So satisfying. All right, this was the surprise of the night, all right? For me, Pete Buttigieg and Beto O'Rourke, I didn't know they had any beef. I mean, why is Pete going after Beto O'Rourke? The guy's small potatoes, man, compared to the guy. But Pete was out. He's not letting anything slide. And this is a confrontation between Beto O'Rourke and Pete Buttigieg about a mandatory gun buyback that Beto is proposing. He wants AK-47s, AR-15s, take them all back. Take them all back. And, there's some logistical problems with that, some issues. So Pete is going at it, man. Let's take a look.
Mayor Buttigieg, just yesterday, you referred to mandatory buybacks as confiscation and said that Congressman O'Rourke has been picking a fight to try to stay relevant. Your response on guns?
Well, Congressman, you just made it clear that you don't know how this is actually going to take weapons off the streets. If you can develop the plan further, I think we can have a debate about it. But we can't wait. People are dying in the streets right now. We can't wait for universal background checks that we finally have a shot to actually get through. We can't wait to ban the sale of new weapons and high-capacity magazines so we don't wind up with millions more of these things on the street. We can't wait for red flag laws that are going to disarm domestic abusers and prevent suicides, which are not being talked about nearly enough as a huge part of the gun violence epidemic in this country. We cannot wait for purity tests. We have to just get something done.
Okay, PD, he ain't playing around. Old PD, he ain't playing around. Let's see what you got, Beto.
This is not a purity test. This is a country that loses 40,000 of our fellow Americans every year to gun violence. This is a crisis, and we've got to do something about it. And those challenges that you described are not mutually exclusive to the challenges that I'm describing. I want to make sure we have universal background checks and red flag laws and that we end the sale of these weapons of war. But to use the analogy of healthcare, it would be as though we said, look, we're for primary care, but let's not talk about mental health care because that's a bridge too far. People need that primary care now, so let's save that for another day. No, let's decide what we are going to believe in, what we are going to achieve, and then let's bring this country together in order to do that. Listening to my fellow Americans, to those moms who demand action, to those students who march for our lives, who in fact came up with this extraordinary, bold peace plan that calls for mandatory buybacks. Let's follow their inspiration and lead and not be limited by the polls and the consultants and the focus groups. Let's do what's right while we have time to do what's right.
All right, I thought Beto did pretty good there. Beto is a very good speaker, just like Pete. You know, they're both very, very good, and he's not flustered. He seems very, very solid there. He gave a pretty good response. Yeah, why not go all the way? You know, why not go all the way? Let's see what Pete has to say.
Mayor Buttigieg?
The problem isn't the polls. The problem is the policy. And I don't need lessons from you on courage, political or personal. Everyone on this stage is determined to get something done. Everyone on this stage recognizes, or at least I thought we did, that the problem is not other Democrats who don't agree with your particular idea of how to handle this. The problem is the National Rifle Association and their enablers in Congress, and we should be united in taking the fight to them.
That's a mischaracterization. Anderson, I've got to answer this. Never took you or anyone else on who disagrees with me on this issue. But when you, Mayor Buttigieg, described this policy as a shiny object, I don't care what that meant to me or my candidacy, but to those who have survived gun violence, those who've lost a loved one to an AR-15 and AK-47, March for Our Lives, formed in the courage of students willing to stand up to the NRA and conventional politics and poll-tested politicians. That was a slap in the face to every single one of those groups and every single survivor of a mass casualty assault with an AR-15 and an AK-47. We must buy them back.
Beto holding his own. He's not getting beat to a pulp. He's not getting beat to a pulp yet. Let's hear what Pete has to say.
What we owe to those survivors is to actually deliver a solution. I'm glad you offered up that analogy to healthcare, because this is really important. We are at the cusp of building a new American majority to actually do things that congressmen and senators have been talking about with almost no impact for my entire adult life. No, this is really important, okay? On guns, we are this close to an assault weapons ban. That would be huge. And we're going to get wrapped around the axle in a debate over whether it's hell yes, we're going to take your guns. We have an opportunity to deliver health care to everybody. And some on this stage are saying it doesn't count unless we obliterate
I want to give other candidates a chance.
All right, Pete. He showed that he has some gumption there. He would not let it go. And honestly, they both made some good points, right? You see a problem, let's fix it all the way. The other guy says, you try to fix it all the way, you're going to lose everything, you know? I see it both ways, you know? I see it both ways. But Pete, I think when it comes to resonating with the people, I think Pete is absolutely right. I think the way most America saw that, they saw Beto getting smashed to a pulp by Pete Buttigieg. And honestly, I think so too. There ain't no way you're gonna have a mandatory gun buyback like that. How are you gonna enforce that? How are you gonna criminalize all these people? How are you gonna enforce it? But incremental change, not exactly the message people are inspired by. But that's a tough one. Beto O'Rourke versus Pete Buttigieg. You let me know who you think won. All right, Yang here, he gets asked about legalizing opioids. Legalizing opioids. You know what I'm talking about. Let's see how he does.
Mr. Yang, you want to decriminalize the possession and use of small amounts of opioids, including heroin. How would that solve the crisis?
That's exactly right. And we have to recognize this is a disease of capitalism run amok. There was a point when there were more opiate prescriptions in the state of Ohio than human beings in the state of Ohio. And for some reason, the federal government thought that was appropriate. They ended up levying a $600 million fine against Purdue Pharma, which sounds like a lot of money, until you realize that company made $30 billion. They got a 2% fine. and they killed tens of thousands of Americans, ate an hour. So if the government turned a blind eye to this company spreading a plague among its people, then the least we can do is put the resources to work in our communities so our people have a fighting chance to get well. Even though this is not a money problem, we all know this is a human problem. And part of helping people get the treatment that they need is to let them know that they're not going to be referred to a prison cell. They will be referred to treatment and counseling. I talked to an EMT in New Hampshire, and he said he saves the same addicts over and over again. Because the fact is, after you save someone who's ODing, you just bring them back to their house and they OD again the following week. So we need to decriminalize opiates for personal use. We have to let the country know this is not a personal failing. This was a systemic government failing. And then we need to open up safe consumption and safe injection sites around the country because they save lives.
That's pretty good. Solid answer, fit everything, explained it perfectly, came across as sane and reasonable. And at the end there, he said something that maybe I had known this or I would have been able to figure it out had I thought about it, but it was a nugget that, I didn't realize, the people ODing, they survived, they're not saved, they OD again. That's interesting. I love, that was a really solid answer. Don't let anybody tell you that Bernie Sanders is out of this game. The guy is strong, quick, sharp, present, funny. Hear the man speak.
Now to the issue of candidates and their health. Senator Sanders, I want to start with you. We're moving on, Senator, I'm sorry.
I'm healthy, I'm feeling great, but I would like to respond to that question.
I want to start by saying...
And Senator Sanders is in favor of medical marijuana. I want to make sure that's clear as well.
Thank you.
Senator Sanders, this debate does mark this debate.
Ha! You want to ask me about my health? Do I look healthy to you? I sounded like Obama there. Do I look healthy? I can't do Bernie. Do I look healthy to you? This guy's like riffing off the cuff. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with Bernie Sanders, man. He can get off the health issue, all right? But worry about his health if he collapses and never gets up again, all right? Until then, guy's walking around, he can be president. My goodness. Look at this guy. Come on. All right, what Tulsi Gabbard does with this question knocks it out of the park, right? She takes a simple question about, hey, should age be an issue with these candidates? They get a nice, perfect shot of the three old candidates on stage. Contrast with Tulsi Gabbard looking young, sharp, present. And she's like, yeah, why are you asking that? Anyway, check out the clip.
Congresswoman Gabbard, you're 38 years old, and you would be the youngest president if elected. Should age matter when choosing a president?
I'm glad you asked, because I was going to say it's not fair to ask these three about their health and their fitness to serve as president, but not every other one of us. I am grateful to have been trained very well by the Army and do my best to stay in shape. But here's the real question I believe you should be asking is, who is fit to serve as our commander-in-chief? This is the most important responsibility that the president has. What Donald Trump has been doing in Syria and what we have just seen with him inviting the Turkey to come in and slaughter the Kurds show what an unfit president looks like. It highlights how critical it is that we have a president and commander-in-chief who is ready on day one, bringing experience and understanding in foreign policy and national security, bringing the experience that I have, both serving in Congress now for nearly 7 years, serving on the Foreign Affairs Committee, serving on the Armed Services Committee, subcommittees related to terrorism and upcoming threats, serving on the Homeland Security Committee, the experience that I have as a soldier, serving for over 16 years in the Army National Guard, deploying twice to the Middle East, being able to serve in different capacities, joint training exercises, training the Kuwait National Guard. I understand the importance of our national security. I am prepared to do this job, to fulfill this responsibility as Commander-in-Chief on day one.
See? Yeah. Well, were you asking me about, were you asking them about their health? You're not asking me about my health? Okay, I'm strong. I work out. I'll take care of myself. I take care of myself. I take care of myself. Don't be looking at me like I'm too old. I take care of myself. You don't. She looking good. And then what does she do, huh? After self-praise, after I look good, after you didn't ask me about my age, experience. Bam, 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 bam. Just list her whole resume. I mean, she kept going. My goodness. I couldn't believe it. Just bam, 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 over and over. By the end of that, you're like, whoa, hang on a second. This lady is the whole package. The whole package. I don't know. Okay? If Yang gets abducted by aliens, I'm with her. Just saying. In case you didn't think Andrew Yang was out there in this to win this, check him out.
That's what I would do as president.
Thank you,
Best
Mr.
way
Secretary.
we can fight back. The best way we can fight back against big tech companies is to say our data is our property. Right now, our data is worth more than oil. How many of you remember getting your data check in the mail? It got lost. It went to Facebook, Amazon, Google. If we say this is our property and we share in the gains, that's the best way we can balance the scales against the big tech companies.
Oh my God. Oh, more information, cranking it in. Perfect, not a hiccup, perfectly done, interrupted. Oh my God. He's like, what? Huh? What? Do I see an opening? Do I see an open? Get right in there. Get right in there. I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm just going to make my way in here. I have something to say that nobody else is talking about. Data check in the mail. Oh my God, that is a glorious statement. The guy, data check in the mail. I love every time he talks about that. Because until he said that, I was like, yeah, wait a second. If you found a bunch of oil in my backyard, you'd have to give me something for the oil, even if you took it all. Right? No, you found oil in me. You found oil in me and you're pumping it out. You know, you're like, oh, it's voluntary. Oh, yeah, it's voluntary. I won't be able to function in this world if I don't voluntarily do it. It's like as voluntary as paying your taxes, you know. Yeah, you do it voluntarily. Yeah, if I don't, they're going to come with the guns. I'm going to have a really bad time. Your data check in the mail. He got that in. He got that in, not in a question. He stole that time. He stole those minutes. And Jiang is getting me all worked up. He's getting me all worked up. I can't do this. Let's take a look at Andrew Yang going against Elizabeth Warren again. All right. Okay, this is so fantastic. He demolishes her in this video. Not her, but anyway. He does the classic thing that he does. All right. First, it's the Andrew grin. That Andrew grin. Oh, you know, it's coming. He's got something coming if he's got that Andrew grin, right? And then he does that, oh, you're right, I'm on your side. And then bam, bam, just roundhouse kick. Just whatever that kick is that sweeps your legs, man. Sweep the legs, man. Pow, man, you're gone before you know it. Check it out.
Mr. Yang, Senator Warren is calling for companies like Facebook, Amazon, and Google to be broken up. Is she right? Does that need to happen?
There's the grin. Oh, he's ready. He's ready.
As usual, Senator Warren is 100% right in diagnosing the problem. There are absolutely excesses in technology, and in some cases, having them divest parts of their business is the right move.
Here comes the hammer.
But we also have to be realistic that competition doesn't solve all of the problems.
Bam! We got to be realistic. Here's the thing, okay? And I've noticed, this is the second time I've seen this, right? When Andrew is going against Elizabeth Warren, and he's saying the nice things, fine, she's on screen. And then somehow, coincidentally, the moment he drops the hammer, saying she's wrong, they cut away. We don't get to see her reaction. I wish I could see her reaction. I mean, I know she's looking down. You know, it's making it so that they don't want the camera on her. I wonder if that's a technique, but it's making it so that they don't want just a shot of her. But every time he's like saying something nice, she's on there, not in the head, and then he drops the hammer, and then she's gone.
It's not like any of us wants to use the fourth best navigation app. That would be like cruel punishment. There's a reason why no one is using Bing today. Sorry, Microsoft, it's true. So it's not like breaking up these big tech companies will revive Main Street businesses around the country. And as the parent of 2 young children, I'm particularly concerned about screen use and its effect on our children. Studies clearly show that we're seeing record levels of anxiety and depression coincident with smartphone adoption and social media use. Breaking up the tech companies does nothing to make our kids healthier. What we have to do is we have to home in on the specific problems we're trying to solve and use 21st century solutions for 21st century problems. Using a 20th century antitrust framework will not work. We need new solutions and a new toolkit.
That last 10 seconds. That last 10 seconds. Do you hear that last 10 seconds? That 21st century solutions for 21st century problems. Don't use a 20th century solution. We need an updated toolkit. I mean, I can't even repeat it, but it was so good. He sounded so smart. And then he brought up social media and kids. You know, all the parents out there wringing their hair out about their kids and social media and what do I do? And do I leave Becky on the internet, off the internet? All her other friends are on the internet. How can I leave? Oh my God. He brought that in, snuck that in so that people care about it. Made a joke. That means they're going to have to replay this. Poor Elizabeth Warren getting hosed. My boy Yang. Right, here's a clip. And I want to try to play it in its entirety so you get the feel of it. This, I think, is what Biden was waiting for, right? This was a moment he was waiting for. And the way they framed the shot with all three candidates, you got Biden in the middle, Warren and Sanders on either side of him. This guy's ready to talk about this, right? And it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good because it shows us what it's going to be like in the general. Whoever, if one of these are the nominees, they're going to get the treatment that Biden gave them here today. How are you going to pay for it? How are you going to pay for it? All right, that's what he's talking about. So let's take a look.
As some of you have indicated, the differences between all of you on this stage are tiny compared to the differences between you and President Trump. There are, however, fundamental differences between many of you on this stage. Vice President Biden, just on either side of you, Senator Warren is calling for big structural change. Senator Sanders is calling for a political revolution. Will their visions attract the kind of voters that the Democrats need to beat Donald Trump?
Well, I think their vision is attracting a lot of people. And I think a lot of what they have to say is really important. But, Senator Warren said we can't be running any vague campaigns. We've got to level with people. We've got to level with people and tell them exactly what we're going to do, how we're going to get it done, and if you can get it done. I'm going to say something that is probably going to offend some people here, but I'm the only one on the stage that's gotten anything really big done, from the Violence Against Women Act to making sure that we passed the Affordable Care Act, to be in a position where we, in fact, took almost a $90 billion act that kept us from going into a depression, putting us in a position where I was able to end able to end the issue of gun sales in terms of assault weapons. And so the question is, who is best prepared? We all have good ideas. The question is, who's going to be able to get it done? How can you get it done? And I'm not suggesting they can't, but I'm suggesting that that's what we should look at. And part of that requires you not being vague. Tell people what it's going to cost, how you're going to do it, and why you're going to do it. That's the way to get it done. Presidents are supposed to be able to persuade.
Just to clarify, Vice President, who are you saying is being vague?
Well, the senator said she's being vague on the issue of, actually both of them being vague on the issue of the Medicare for all. No, look, here's the deal. Come on. It costs $30 trillion. Guess what? That's over $3 trillion a year. It's part of the entire federal budget. Let me finish, okay?
You'll both get in.
If you eliminated the entire Pentagon, every single thing, plane, ship, troop, the buildings, everything, satellites, it would pay for a total of 4 months. 4 months. Where do you get the rest? Where does it come from?
Two things.
Senator Sanders, respond.
In two ways. Joe, you talked about working with Republicans and getting things done. But you know what you also got done, and I say this as a good friend. You got the disastrous war in Iraq done. You got a bankruptcy bill, which is hurting middle-class families all over this country. You got trade agreements like NAFTA and PNTR with China done, which have cost us 4 million jobs. And let's get to Medicare for all. Let's be honest. We spend twice as much per person as do the people of any other major country on earth. And the answer is, if we have the guts, and I would like to see the Democratic Party have that guts, to stand up to the drug companies and the insurance companies and tell them that the function of health care is to guarantee care to all people, not to make $100 billion in profit. If we stood together, we could create the greatest health care system in the world.
Vice President Biden, you can respond, and then Senator Warren.
We can do that without Medicare for all. We can do that by adding a public option. We can.
No,
and we can afford to do it.
You got to take on the greed and the profiteering of the healthcare industry.
Let him respond, Vice President.
The greed and profiteering of those insurance companies. They are as much against my bill as they are anybody else. They were strongly against Obamacare. They know it costs them, and it's going to take away the right of people to choose, the 160 million people out there who've negotiated their health insurance, and they want to keep it. They should have a right to keep it.
All right, Biden is looking good. He's looking happy. He wants to talk about this subject. He likes hearing them talk about the subject. You can see the look on his face. He's looking very comfortable. He's looking very happy, right? And then an awkward moment happens with Elizabeth Warren here. You're going to see in a second. And man, Elizabeth Warren, she, in the 90s, when I was growing up, the kids would say, "In your face, in your face," right? And that's exactly what Elizabeth Warren did here. I don't know what kids say these days, but Joe Biden just got in your face. Let's watch.
Senator Warren, your response.
So you started this question with how you got something done. You know, following the financial crash of 2008, I had an idea for a consumer agency that would keep giant banks from cheating people. And all of the Washington insiders and strategic geniuses said, don't even try, because you will never get it passed. And sure enough, the big banks fought us, the Republicans fought us, some of the Democrats fought us, but we got that agency passed into law. It has now forced big banks to return more than $12 billion directly to people they cheated. I served in the Obama administration. I know what we can do by executive authority, and I will use it. In Congress, on the first day, I will pass my anti-corruption bill, which will beat back the influence of money and repeal the filibuster. And the third, we want to get something done in America. We have to get out there and fight for the things that touch people's lives.
I agreed with, let me, she referenced me. I agreed with the great job she did. And I went on the floor and got you votes. I got votes for that bill. I convinced people to vote for it. So let's get those things straight, too.
Senator Warren, do you want to respond?
I am deeply grateful to President Obama, who fought so hard to make sure that agency was passed into law. And I am deeply grateful to every single person who fought for it and who helped pass it into law.
Damn. Damn. All right, all right, all right. All right. Elizabeth Warren throwing some shade. Whew, that was harsh. Harsh. Hilarious. Okay, Elizabeth Warren, she might have won me back. She might have won me back with that one. Oh my God, that's mean. That's mean, man.
But understand.
You did a hell of a job in your job.
Thank you. But understand this. It was a dream big, fight hard. People told me, go for something little. Go for something small. Go for something that the big corporations will be able to accept. I said, no, let's go for an agency that will make structural change in our economy. And President Obama said, I will fight for that. And he sometimes had to fight against people in his own administration. We have to be willing to make good, big structural change.
Mayor Buttigieg, which is the right vision for a Democrat to beat Donald Trump? That's the essential question.
If I had a buck for every argument that I've witnessed like this, I could pay for college for everybody. We need to move past what has been consuming this whole political space for as long as I've been alive.
Yang's closing statements. So good. Look, first of all, take a look at how confident, cool he looks. He looks so much more at ease than his first debate, right? I mean, understandable. It's a presidential debate. He never did it before, never ran for office. It's got to be terrifying. Well, not terrifying. It's got to be nerve-wracking. He's looking very comfortable. But that math pin, I don't know why it took me so long to notice that, but the math pin right there, so nerdy, so geeky, so goody.
Mr. Yang?
First, I want to thank all the voters tuned in at home. If you don't feel like you got your question answered tonight, it's understandable. There are 12 of us. I'm going to be answering voter questions for 10 straight hours this Friday. My website, yang2020.com, and if you ask your question tonight, there's a better chance I'll get to it. My surprising friendship, It's been so much fun running for president because I've gotten to meet so many Americans I never would have gotten to meet otherwise. The friendship that sticks out for me is a guy named Fred, who's an avid Trump supporter, a trucker. He let me ride in his truck for hours. He spent some time in jail. I heard about his experiences trying to get other people off of drugs. And I'm happy to say that after our ride together, he actually said that he would move from Donald Trump to my campaign, which was a thrill for me, and we've remained in touch ever since.
Fred! Fred gets a shout out. Oh man, Fred's so cool, so cool.
The truth is that what happened to the 4 million manufacturing workers here in Ohio and Michigan and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and Iowa did not care about our political party. The fourth industrial revolution is now migrating from manufacturing workers to retail, call centers, transportation, as well as to white-collar workers like attorneys, pharmacists, and radiologists. It does not care about our party. Donald Trump had a set of solutions in 2016. What did he say? He said, we're going to build a wall, we're going to turn the clock back, we're going to bring the old jobs back. America, we have to do the opposite of all of these things. We have to turn the clock forward. We have to accelerate our economy and society as quickly as possible. We have to evolve in the way we think about ourselves and our work and our value.
We need to evolve. We need to evolve. We keep hearing about revolution, but we need to evolve the way we do things. Evolve is like, it's a natural progression that's tried and true. You know, revolution, you never really know. Revolution, people die. Revolution can be terribly disruptive. But an evolution is taking the best of what you are and iterating and improving upon it. But he wants to do it in a way that leaps us forward. True innovation, right? Evolution. I love when he says that word.
It is not left, it is not right, it is forward, and that is where we must take the country in 2020.
Mr. Yang, thank you very much.
A little hiccup at the end there in his microphone, but that's all cool. You know, we all do that. He's a nerd, the geek in chief, nerd in chief. What a fantastic demonstration there, Andrew Yang. I couldn't be prouder of the guy. That was fantastic. So there we have it. That's the show, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Really had a fun time in that debate. I expect great things happening for Yang. I expect the momentum to continue. He's clearly on an upward trajectory. Everything he said is coming to pass. So I'm feeling more optimistic and excited than ever before. I hope you are too, Yang Gang. I hope you get excited with this because he really did an absolutely fantastic, a really great job. Better than before, and that's all we can really expect. We see more people talking about automation. We see more people talking about UBI. It's just going to continue and progress. You're going to keep climbing, and you're going to be influencing what's going on. That's a sure sign that he's making a huge impact. Not only are there fans on the internet and the base and all that, the media is starting to ask the questions that Andrew Yang is bringing up. Other candidates are appending their offerings to include things that include these new questions, these new topics. Andrew Yang is winning, folks. He's winning. He's winning. You picked the right train, folks. The Yang Gang train, man. You picked the right horse. This is our guy. Andrew Yang, thank you. I don't know. Look, maybe you'll see this. Maybe somebody will tell you. Thank you so much. The ideas you provide give hope. The fact that you're running gives hope. But the fact that you're doing better and better, taking in the advice that's around you, keep doing that. Thank you so much. It means so much to me to have an example of a human being out there. You know, I just thought politicians, people in that world, it's all garbage and there was no hope. And now I know you can have a dream and a vision. You can go out there and fight it, and you can do it in a way that's authentic and true to you. You made a huge difference to me. I was feeling apathetic and dejected. I felt hopeless, really, for a lot of it when it comes to politics. You know, I was really trying on the side to figure out my own way forward and try to help the world. But when it comes to politics, I was feeling really down about it. I didn't think there was any hope. Bernie Sanders gave me some hope, and then he got totally kneecapped, and that was not cool. And now Andrew Yang is coming in and bringing in hope. So thank you. For somebody who feels like on the outs, for somebody who doesn't hold the opinions that everybody holds, I found a home in you. So thank you so much, Andrew Yang. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Yang Gang. You guys are so exciting. You make living life so good. I look at what you guys do all the time. I'm always Googling and going on Reddit and going on Twitter and seeing what you're doing. I love watching the videos. This whole community is absolutely fantastic. And I'm just glad to be a tiny, tiny little part of it. So if you like what I offer here, if you like the show, remember to subscribe to the channel. Click that little bell so you know when I upload videos or if I go live. I got more content coming for you. I'm very excited. More gags, more jokes, more fun. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. I got some memes there. And upwards and forwards. Look, the road to the White House in 2024 begins with winning the White House in 2020. So I am all in, not only for now, but in the future. Yang Gang! My name is Bad Guru. That's the show, folks. See you in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, Yang Gang. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and click the little bell so that you know when a new video is uploaded. More content coming all the time. I'm as obsessed as you are, so you definitely want to get on board. Join the campaign to re-elect Andrew Yang in 2024.